Certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Rankum. It's going to be a fun one today, and in all the Oscars, we are doing top 12 Oscar-winning Best Actress performances, and got a great panel here. Over here we've got Dan. Dan, how's it going?
Yeah, I saw the choices for Rankum this week, and I was just like, wow, I loved a bunch of the choices. And Best Actress ended up winning, and I was like, wow, I'd love to go delve into some Best Actress performances I hadn't seen. Of course, I've seen over 54 of the performances, so it was kind of picking ones I hadn't seen was kind of hard. So, but I revisited a good handful of them, so hopefully I'll have a lot to say on this topic.
Dog interruption.
My dog's just got a lot to say about the Oscars. But also got Jonathan here. Jonathan, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I thought my schedule was going to be very tight, but a slot opened up for me, and here I am. This may be one of the toughest lists I've ever had to do personally, because there are a lot of great performances. And to celebrate both the Oscars and recently, actually yesterday, International Women's Day, this would be a great topic to cover, celebrating these fantastic performances. So, yeah, let's get right to it. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff here. A lot of great performances.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It didn't. I totally dawned on me there was Women's Day yesterday. So it's just a. But we've also got here Kerry. Kerry, how's it going?
Going great, thanks. Excited to be here and talk about some amazing performances.
And last but not least, we've got Chad. Chad, how's it going?
It's going great. Yep. Oscars are tomorrow night. We got a big Best Actress category going up. We got Gladstone, Stone, and then maybe a Holler surprise. Who knows? You never know. But that being said, now it's time to go back and find out some of the other great actresses from back in the day. Let's do it.
But if that how Rankum works is we're each going to go around and nominate a Best Actress performance that we think belongs on a top 12 list. And then everyone else will say yes or no. And if it gets a majority of yeses, it will make the list. And just as a small caveat, because there is some actresses that have won multiple times, I'm just doing one per actress just so we can get a good range of some of the good ones in there.
Okay.
I mean, I did say to the chat too. But
Yeah, I did. I forgot about that.
Yep, I remember.
I'm okay with my list. It's cool.
Yeah. Dan, we're going to go to you first. What is the first performance you're going to bring up?
Well, I'm gonna go with a movie to me that when I saw it, I was very young. I saw this movie, but I've seen it multiple times, and actually, I rewatched it again for this just to brush up with it, and it's part of it. This movie has become part of American lexicon. When we have conversations, we say, "Well, that's a Sophie's Choice." Meryl Streep, Sophie's Choice, I think, is a brutal film. I know Chad and Carrie might have something to say about this. When you have to choose between your children in like World War II and concentration camps and stuff like that, that's some brutal subject matter. And I think if you go back and look at Meryl Streep's filmography, she's done voices, a French voice. She's done Eastern European voices. She's done British voices. She's great with voices, and she does I believe, a Polish voice or Eastern European voice in Sophie's Choice. And we can't pick. Meryl Streep can't be on the list more than once. I figure you're gonna put Meryl Streep on the list. You gotta get her on the list for the movie that really, to me, is her best performance. Even though she's great in her other Oscar wins. So that's why I'm going with Sophie's Choice.
Jonathan, what do you say about Meryl Streep for Sophie's Choice?
Okay, well, when I was doing my list, I locked 5, and meaning that 5 should definitely be on the list, and Sophie's Choice is one of them. Short and sweet, yes.
Kerry, what do you say about Meryl Streep for Sophie's Choice?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think we need Meryl Streep on this list, and I think this is the right movie.
Chad, what do you say about Meryl Streep for Sophie's Choice?
I haven't actually seen Sophie's Choice. I'm not sure about Carrie, but I've been meaning to. I just never got around to it. But I do agree. Like Meryl Streep, even though I'm not like super high on her as like an actress, like but she's like from like like Hollywood. She's known as one of the greats. So I feel like the list would be lesser if she wasn't on it. So I do agree. I think this is probably, from what I've heard, like her biggest, like best performance from back in the day. So I mean, it's certainly better than Out of Africa. Am I right? So yeah. So let's let's give her the let's get her on the list for Sophie's Choice. I agree.
But yeah, I like Meryl Streep and Sophie's Choice. I think she's great, but I actually would have said no. I actually got a different performance from Meryl Streep a lot higher. I actually like her role in The Iron Lady more. I think she's great as portraying Margaret Thatcher. So that's what I would have gone for. But she's going to make the list for Sophie's Choice. And yeah. But with that, we go to Jonathan next. Jonathan, what is your first performance?
Yeah, and the other one, she won supporting actress for Kramer versus Kramer. Yeah,
No,
that's okay. Yeah. What am I going to nominate? Let's see. There's this character that really, I think, is one of the best characters ever written in movies, and she's pregnant during the whole movie, and she is a police chief. So it's Marge Gunderson, the wonderful Marge Gunderson, played by the great Frances McDormand in Fargo. Look, and she's already a legend. She's won 3 Oscars. I mean, or actually 4 Oscars if you think about it, because she won producing, I believe, as well. But that performance in Fargo, she starts out, and we see her as a tired lady, but then she becomes a quirky police chief, a likable police chief. Everybody smiles at her. Everybody follows her lead, and we follow alongside with her during the whole movie. And then she has this moment of poetic complexity that is just so emotional that it really closes her arc very well, and it's a special performance. And I think it is one of my 5 locks, and I think it's one of the best performances, actor or actress, ever, in my opinion. So nominating Frances McDormand from Fargo, Marge Gunderson.
Kerry, what do you say about Frances McDormand from Fargo?
Jonathan beat me to it. This was going to be my first nomination, so it's a definite yes for me. I think this Fargo is a perfect movie, and Frances McDormand gives a perfect performance in it.
And Chad, what do you say about Frances McDormand from Fargo?
Yeah, Fargo as a movie is basically perfection. It's my favorite Coen film. I think it's their best, but that's even like saying something, because they got so many great films. But yeah, Frances McDormand in this movie is just incredible. She's just, my buddy John has family from the area, and they say basically like everyone nails the accent and just how people act and behave in there. And I think, Frances McDormand like nails it like probably the most. I mean, she's got like the most to do as the cop, and yeah, she's got to play pregnant. She's got to play from that region. She's got to play like a certain type of character from that place, not just a stereotype. And I think she like nails that character, and it's just brilliant. She's got like that like final line where it's like, the exact line, but it's like in the car, and it's like all over a nothing. You know, you did all the stuff over nothing, and it's a nice day out. You know, and I don't know. I love all of the lines she gives and everything. So yeah, this is very high up on my list. I probably would have nominated it if Jonathan or Carrie didn't. So there you go.
Yeah, this is my like favorite performance of Frances McDormand. It's won Best Actress. And yeah, this I do like the movie. This is one I was actually going to rewatch, see if it actually goes up my list. But I didn't get around to it. But yeah, I think it's good. I would have suggest anyway. So, Dan, what do you say about Frances McDormand for Fargo?
Yeah. I was going to have Frances McDormand as my number 2 pick, but you guys would have got her on there on my on the list. This phenomenal performance and a phenomenal movie. I mean, I just absolutely love this movie. I can't say enough about her performance in this movie. Maybe Carey Mulligan should have won the year that she ended up winning for Nomadland, but hey, that's another whole other thing. If she would have done what Kate Blanchett did last year, maybe Carey Mulligan would have an Oscar right now. But we're just politics will side. She's great in Fargo. I love her.
But with that, Kerry, we go to you. What is your first nomination?
Yeah.
Okay. My first nomination, I'm gonna do. We've been keeping kind of in a similar time frame, kind of like late 80s, early 90s. I'm going to stick with that, and I'm going to nominate Jodie Foster as Clarice in Silence of the Lambs. Again, this is a movie, I just absolutely love this movie, and I think Jodie's performance is a big part of what makes this movie so fantastic. Just what she's just able to convey through her performance, like she really takes you on that journey of this young FBI trainee and, delving into this really dark world of serial killers and interacting with Hannibal Lecter and going into her past, and just all of her scenes are just so fantastic.
Chad, what do you say about Jodie Foster for Silence of the Lambs?
I mean, it's another movie that's basically like perfection. It's just incredible. It's like a horror movie that got, that won so many awards, and this was one, and it's so deserving. Like the whole, cat and mouse game and all of the conversations between, Clarice Starling and Hannibal Lecter are just so great and just intense to watch because of the delivery and just like how she is, and just like her like being like that woman amongst all these men that are towering over her, and she has to basically be there and do that and show what a woman in that arena might have to go through, especially at that time. And I think she just really nails that, and just the fear over her childhood, giving speeches about the lambs and stuff like that. She just nails every piece, and she's also a badass detective, and she's just a trainee. So I don't know, it's amazing. So yeah, 100%.
Yeah, this is one that is tricky for me because I haven't seen Silence of the Lambs in ages. This is one that I was considering rewatching specifically for this. But I do like the movie enough, but I'm not a big fan of Jodie Foster's performance as Clarice. So it's I thought it was just fine. It was actually pretty low down my list. So I'm actually going to say no because, and it's one of those ones the way I'm going into this, personally, I think either Dina Davis or Susan Sarandon should have won for Thelma and Louise over Jodie Foster. So. Yes, it's going to be a no for me. But Dan, what do you say about Jodie Foster for Silence of the Lambs?
Yeah, I like that point you made about Thelma and Louise, Malcolm. That's a good point. But I just feel like she really is up against it. She's up on an uphill battle in this film with so many different elements, and she's dealing with so much. And I'm in a horror Facebook group, and somebody did a post, and they said, "Is this a horror movie?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? Is this a horror movie? Of course, this is a horror. People's ripping people's faces off and putting them on there as skin. You know what I mean? Come on." And then some of the creepy places she ends up going, pretty suspenseful. Some of that stuff towards the end of the movie, it's like, how is this? What do you mean? Is this a horror movie? That's ridiculous. But I think Jodie Foster, she's great in The Accused, but I think she really does a great job in this as well. And I think Anthony Hopkins brings her game up, and some of those other guys elevates her game in this movie. So this was on my list of 12. So I definitely say yes.
Lambs, what do you say about Jodie Foster? Silence the Lambs.
Yeah, I've been screaming internally when you said Gina Davis as soon as a random should have won. But they're also great performances as well. I thought that Foster is in another league, in my opinion. And I think because she conveys all that fear from her childhood very well, especially against Hopkins. And you got to credit both Hopkins and Jonathan Demme, the director, for raising her game, because those scenes in close-up, you just are you're in terror with her along the way throughout the whole movie. And you root for her from the very beginning. I mean, like when she was going on that obstacle course to the very end where she's on the phone with Lecter. So you got another one of my locks. That's one of my locks one of my 5 locks. So great pick. It's a definite yes.
With that, Jodie Foster's going to make the list. Chad, we go to you next.
Okay. Well, I'm staring at 3 names, and they're all like from classic movies. So from 1950 and before that I've been looking at. And I'm trying to figure out which one, but I think I know which one is my favorite of the 3, because this person is in a year of amazing acting and she still won. And I'm like, I don't know, I might be setting myself up for failure, because who she beat is a lot of great performances. So I'm talking about Judy Holliday from Born Yesterday. She beat Ann Baxter, Betty Davis, and Gloria Swanson from All About Eve and Sunset Boulevard. The reason why, I know she beat some heavy hitters, but the reason why I think she deserved it is because this movie's like incredibly ahead of its time. It's really, really sucks that a lot of people aren't talking about Born Yesterday on a similar level, maybe not as high of a level as All About Eve and Sunset Boulevard. But Born Yesterday, I think, is truly incredible, especially because of her performance. We're looking at a movie today. We're talking about a movie called Poor Things that shows Emma Stone going from kind of like, very small, like simple to very complex human being, complex person. And that's why I think Emma Stone definitely deserves that award. And that's why Judy Holliday deserves it from me, is because she did the same thing, just like 60, 70, I can't math, 80 years ago, whatever it is, 1950. Is that she goes from this person who thinks that, she's basically there just to be eye candy for the guy she's with. And then she slowly starts to read and starts to look at things around her and realizes that she's way smarter than the guy she's with. And then she has this incredible arc. And just the way she like shows it from, the beginning to the end, I just think is so incredible, so empowering. And so I think it's also a great piggyback to go from Jodie Foster, who's a very like empowering female performer in her movie, to another one just earlier that might have even inspired this performance and a lot of other performances to come after 1950. So I don't know. That's the one that spoke to me, even though there's a lot of other like bigger names out there. But I do think Judy Holliday deserved that win, despite going up against some heavy hitters. I understand that people are like, no Judy Holliday because she beat Betty Davis, but I love the performance. So Judy Holliday, Born Yesterday.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of this movie until I delved into did research into this. And it's one of those ones like, yeah, it's probably not going to come up. I'm not going to write about watching it. So yeah, I haven't seen it. Dan, what do you say about Judy Holliday for Dawn yesterday?
You know, I've seen 54 of the performances in this category, but one I have not seen is that one. And I've seen both of those other two movies that were nominated in that category that year. But unfortunately, I have not seen this one, so I can't vote for it if I haven't seen it.
Jonathan, what do you say about Judy Holliday for Born Yesterday?
I did watch a movie with this from this director recently.
All right.
So you're not far off there. So, but it's not Born Yesterday. Holy crap! She beat Gloria Swanson. Okay, well, because that's
Give it a watch, if anything.
I know. I have to. I put it on my watch list just now, and
Nice.
yeah, if it is as good as Gloria Swanson from Sunset Boulevard, yeah, for sure she deserved it. So, but I have to go with the others. I haven't seen it. So.
Fair.
Gary, what do you say about Judy Holliday for Born Yesterday?
I've seen most of Born Yesterday because Chad watched it. I think he watched it a couple of times. But I haven't seen the whole thing. And from what I have seen, I honestly do prefer the performances of Betty Davis and Ann Baxter in All About Eve. So probably would have said no, not that it really matters, but
But if that is not going to make the list, it's on to me, and I'm going to bring up someone that Chad actually did mention when talking about Born Yesterday. I'm bringing up Emma Stone for La La Land. Like, I'm a big musical fan, and I love what Emma Stone did in La La Land. I think she was great. I think she deserved the Oscar that year, and it's and I think it's one of those ones like, because I know a lot of people criticizing her for not really being a singer and all that. I think she was great with the singing, and it's one of those ones like it's always been one of those weird things for me when it comes to musicals. Like if it's a musical where the main characters are not supposed to be professional singers anyway, I don't mind the fact that their singing is not always great and a little bit rough, and because like even Ryan Gosling, like they're both actively working on singing and learning and all that in preparation for this. So I think Emma Stone is great, and I think she did a good job of sort of encapsulating some of that classic musical energy for the role and all that as well. And that's the vibe that Damien Chazelle was going for, and I think Emma Stone was perfect in it. But Dan, what do you say about Emma Stone for La La Land?
Yeah, Malcolm. I love Emma Stone in La La Land. But when you're dealing with 95 performances and you're going to narrow 95 down to 12, I just don't see what Emma Stone did in La La Land is even in the top 20, in my personal opinion. And it's not like I don't like what she's doing in La La, because I do. I think she's fantastic in that movie, and she deserved to win that Oscar, and she's probably going to win a second Oscar, even though other people might pick Lily Gladstone. I think she's really fantastic in the movie. I just think there's so many other performances that I would go with over her. So unfortunately, I have to say no.
Jonathan, what do you say about Emma Stone for La La Land?
Yeah, I had to look up who she won against, and yeah, you're right. She deserved it. Even though Portman from Jackie was great. Stone, she's low on my honorable mentions. What I was, thinking in my head while doing the show is like, if you're gonna bring up a name, and if it's like high up in my honorable mentions, then I would basically say yes to it. But unfortunately, while she does give a great performance, there are a lot of great performances. Like we picked some all-timers already, and I don't know if it's an all-time performance for me, but it is a great performance. And if Stone wins for Poor Things, I consider that one an all-timer for me. But even though Gladstone is also an all-timer for me if she wins as well. But as far as La La Land is concerned, it is a great performance, but there's way too many great performances, and it's, for me personally, it's not quite up there. So I'm gonna go no, but great pick. Great pick.
Kerry, what do you say about Emma Stone for La La Land?
Yeah, this is difficult because I agree with everyone. She does give a fantastic performance in this. Like, there's no question about that. It is a question, though, of is it top 12 worthy? I think I'm gonna say no as well. It's like Jonathan. It's like low, pretty low on my list, and probably was gonna be like an honorable mention. So yeah, I'm gonna say no here.
Chad, what do you say about Emma Stone?
Yeah, the other people on the panel here, that's the word, have said it really, really well. I think that I was on the fence with Emma Stone for that role. I agree. Poor Things, my favorite performance of the year, pretty much. But with her in La La Land, I think she is doing really incredible stuff. Like when she's doing the auditioning and just like the love story stuff, like just really, really great. But then I am just thinking, like, it's been a while since I've seen it. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm not like crazy high on it. So I would have also given it a slight no, but like if everyone else was super high on it, I would have been like, cool, okay.
But Dan, what is your next nomination?
Well, I'll tell you right now, guys. This is a movie to me that really set a genre. It didn't create a genre, but it kind of created a genre. And if you look, since this movie came out, so many other movies have taken this formula and ran with it. And so many other people have won awards for this, whether it's a male performance or a female performance, sometimes supporting performances in movies like this. But I think the one performance to me that set this genre up for decades to come and really just was incredible. And I just, to this very day, I think, and Chad might know where I'm going with this because we talked about this on Picture This, the very first time I ever did Picture This, and that's coal miner's daughter, Sissy Spacek. I think as Loretta Lynn, I think she gives a phenomenal performance. She's got an abusive husband in Tommy Lee Jones, yet she's got this career going for herself as a country music singer, and she's fantastic in this movie. And that year, she was up against some big name people that year, and she ended up winning. And I just feel like if you look at the biopic genre after that, so many people have kind of copied the biopic genre. And it was all because of the coal miner's daughter and the performance of Sissy Spacek as Loretta Lynn in that movie. So that's what I'm going with. I know I go 80 now, 80, 82, now 80. I know, but hey, it just means a lot to me. And so that's why I want to go with it.
Jonathan, what do you say about Sissy Spacek for the coal miner's daughter?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the nominee list. Interesting. Goldie Hawn, Private Benjamin, really? Okay. And I was gonna watch Gloria actually soon. Okay, and Coal Miner's Daughter, which answers that I haven't seen it, so I can't really say anything about that performance. And I heard it was a great performance, but I have to be fair with myself and say I have to abstain. So yeah.
Kerry, what do you say about Sissy Spacek for the coal miner's daughter?
I love her in this movie. She is phenomenal. She just brings this like charisma to the role, and you just like can't take your eyes off of her. She's just absolutely fantastic. And that, like, I don't really listen to country music, and like her performance made me want to like listen to country music and listen to a bunch of Loretta Lynn. So it's definitely a yes for me.
Chad, what do you say about Sissy Space Tech for Coleman?
I'm like hard on the fence with this one. It's not one that I'm not high up on it like Carrie and Dan are. And I didn't put it, I saw it and then I didn't put it on my list because I was like, there's so many others that I really would love to see on there. But I mean, there is a lot of passion in here about it. So I want to say yes. I really do. But I'm sitting here trying to think, like, I just don't remember any specific part like singing. But I don't remember any specific parts that made me go, this is one of the all-time best, like, top 12 ones. But Dan did make a good argument, so I'm just
remember she had to go up against her husband. Her husband was abusive and he was trying to control her career and stuff, and she fought against it, and she went and did something against him because she's like, I want to do what I want to do for once in my career. I'm the one who's
that's what I was trying to argue with Judy Holliday, but no one bought that.
What happened?
Ooh.
What happened?
I said that's what I was trying to argue with about Judy Holliday, and no one bought that. But haven't seen it. Yeah, unfortunately. That was a bad choice. Fuck, man. I'm going to give it a slight no. It's just because I have so many others that I'm looking at. Oh, I wish I was higher on it. I'm going to give it a slight no.
Malcolm.
Says.
We're going to rewatch that movie.
I need you, Malcolm. I need you, buddy.
I just haven't seen it.
I knew that was probably going to happen. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, I mean, no, once again, it was one of those ones that I looked at, was like, for whatever reason, I think I shrugged it off, thinking, oh, yeah, I don't know if it'll come up.
Great performance.
I mean, I don't doubt that. I've seen various clips of it. I just haven't seen the actual movie. And like, I'm not going to judge an actress' performance based on clips I've seen. I want to see.
What was Jonathan going to say though? I want to hear what Jonathan's. What'd you say?
No. I was not going to say anything. Go ahead.
All right, never mind.
But anyway,
Harry, then I would have.
She was giving you daggers, by the way, Chad. When you were talking, she was looking through your skull, daggers.
Harry was?
Yes. He was. He was looking at you, giving you daggers, wanting you to say yes.
But I just wanted him to pick one or the other.
There are too many good performances, all right? There are too many good ones.
But anyway, Jonathan, what is your next nomination?
Well, this is another one of my locks. And what I'm going to put here, I'm going to be afraid as this character by this other character coming up. Yeah. If I were Randall McMurphy, I would be terrified with this character who portrayed, an actress who gave a phenomenal performance playing Nurse Ratched. Yeah. I'm going to nominate Louise Fletcher for Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And Dan said it earlier, like, she has those daggers in her eyes when she looks at some patients with anger, and that tantalizes people. Like, you do not want to upset Nurse Ratched. She's just icy cold, even when she's like talking with the patients during those sessions there. So there you go. It's a classic. And, she sees Rick Murphy's like lively presence as kind of a threat to her authority throughout the movie. And, it's a phenomenal performance against, she is up against Jack Nicholson and other fantastic actors as well. So a great villainous performance. And it is sad to what happens to Nicholson at the end, because this is one of those rare performances where spoiler alert, that the villain wins. So it is a phenomenal performance again, and I'm going to nominate Louise Fletcher.
Kerry, what do you say about Louise Fletcher for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah, I thought you were going a different way at first, but
Maybe another one. Yeah, I actually may have another one.
I'm bringing up another one. I thought you did it again.
There was going to be a
So my
pattern.
next
I'm
one,
saying
yeah.
as far as not.
But this one, I agree. It's a great performance just to be terrified by someone just through their acting. Like it's crazy. Like a person who would otherwise probably be very non-threatening, and she just she makes you terrified through this performance. So I agree. Yeah.
Chad, what do you say about Louise Fletcher from Below the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yeah, this is one I put on my list when I was going through and just writing the ones that I were like, have to have 15 just in case. And I don't know like where she would rank, but like probably pretty high. I think this movie's incredible. You can kind of look at the movie and this performance apparently from different lenses, like where she's the villain and one where she's just doing her job. And Jack Nicholson is just kind of coming in and messing stuff up and whatnot. But I definitely always look at her from a villainous lens myself, and I think either way you shake it, it's just a great performance. She is just trying to do her job, but she has to be like that, put her foot down antagonist. But some of the things she's doing to these people is not really good in my opinion. So it's like, the way that she treats people and stuff like that. I just think it's like so, just like her face, the way she does her face in this performance is like that, stone cold, like you were saying, like, is just so hard to do, I feel like. And she really nails it. And she's the big force in that movie. So yeah, I'd say yes.
Daggers again.
Yeah.
Yeah, once again, I actually watched this for the first time, actually fairly recently. While I do think she's doing a great job in the performance, that I didn't find myself getting scared from her character. Like, there's another movie I watched for the first time for this, that I think is more freakier and one that I do not want to be
The same.
alone.
I think we're thinking of the same character. Yeah.
But yeah, so I actually would have gone a slight no for Louise Fletcher. But Dan, what would you say about Louise Fletcher for Cuckoo's Nest?
Kitty.
Yeah, I consulted some friends. A friend, and my friend had this when I told my friend the topic. My friend had Louise Fletcher as a Nurse Ratched on his list, and I do not have her on my list or my honorable mentions, but I believe she's one of the few villains that have won. Like, you see this in years past, like years later, where people win Oscars for playing villains. And I think this is like the template. This is one of the first movies where you see the villain, someone playing the villain, win an Oscar. And when people talk about some of the greatest villains in movie history, she comes up. She comes up a lot as one of the greatest villains in history. But like I said, I did not have her on my list of honorable mentions or on my list, so I would have said no. But you got 3 votes anyways with Jonathan, Karen, and Chad, so she's on the list. So
yeah. But for that, we're going to go to Kerry next. What is the next performance you're going to bring up?
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the villain train, and I'm gonna go with Kathy Bates from Misery. Also, absolutely terrifying. She is just out of her mind in this movie, and she just plays it so well. Like, she plays that switch in the character's personality where she just goes from like kind of, you can tell all the niceness is like kind of fake, and then she like it's so fantastic. She just does this so wonderfully.
Chad, what do you say about Kathy Bates for Misery?
Yeah, I knew Carrie was bringing this up. I thought maybe Jonathan was doing this at first, and then he went with another great villainous performance, and then Carrie right after. Yeah, Kathy Bates rules in this movie. Movie's not as good, I mean, it's a great movie just in general, but it's not as good without her in it because she's such a powerhouse performance. Kathy Bates' name pretty much because of this performance. what am I trying to say? You could easily see a lot of different people today, people who don't like The Last Jedi or don't like certain films and stuff, kidnapping one of the writers of that movie and going, change it. You kind of deal. So this movie is ahead of its time. I mean, it's a great book as well, but it's a great book adaptation. And I think she captures the soul of Annie Wilkes.
Annie Wilkes, yeah. I couldn't think of it while I was talking.
I think she captures that essence so well of being. She wants what she wants, and she's going to do anything it takes to get it. She'll kill a cop. She doesn't give a shit. She'll hobble your leg. She's her presence in that cabin or whatever is like so terrifying that when Paul tries to escape, you're just like terrified of her coming back. And she's just like a little lady. And it's just like, yeah, but like she's insane. So I don't know. She crushed it. So yes, for sure.
I'm entirely convinced that's what happened with the last with Rise of Skywalker. JJ Abrams just kidnapped.
Oh, I can imagine that.
And I mean, I'm one of the few people that actually does still like Rise of Skywalker for what we've got. But anyway, I watched Misery for this. While I'm not as high on the movie itself, I think the movie is just fine. But I do really like Kathy Bates' performance, and I think it's great. And and this ended up really high on my list. So yeah, it's a yes for Kathy Bates' Misery. But Dan, what do you say about Kathy Bates and Misery?
Yeah, I had Kathy Bates in my honorable mentions for Misery, and I love this movie. I love this movie, and I love her performance in it. But it's just so hard when you're trying to narrow down so many down to 12. It's just so hard. And I did have her in my honorable mentions, and I love her in this. Her opposite James Caan in this movie, and like you guys said, another villain that gets the Oscar for playing the villain. You know, so it's a trend. It's a thing going forward. We're going to see this a lot more after this, you know.
And Jonathan, what do you say about Kathy Bates' Misery?
I couldn't tell if that was a yes or a no. I just.
Dan, was it
Oh, I see. Gotcha. All right. Yeah. I'm with Malcolm. This was actually one of the 4 I watched. I had not watched Misery until yesterday.
Wow.
And I finished this morning. Newest addition to my list. This newest addition to my top 12. Yeah, it's a very good movie. I think it's a bare bones script, but her performance is phenomenal. It's pitch perfect. I think it's a great performance. Chad's right. This is a movie that holds up in terms of a toxicity and fan obsession as to like people get angry on the internet, and then you kind of fear if you, as a creator or a writer or a director or an actor, that some crazed maniac would go to your house or anywhere on the street and just kidnap you or whatever. And I mean that's scary in itself, especially in a cabin with snow surrounded. So yes, Kathy Bates, she's great, and it's 100% yes for this nomination here.
That Kathy Bates' Misery is going to make the list.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we already had 3 anyway. It was only the 3. You guys, Chad, Carrie, and you, Malcolm.
Malcolm said yes.
Yeah. But Chad, what is the next performance you're going to bring up?
All right, so excuse me. I tried for one in 1950, and then I was like, I'm going to cruise into the future now, and I'm going to do probably for the ones that haven't already been picked, is probably my favorite performance looking over my list out of all of these. I'm going to go with from 2004, I believe, $1 Million Baby Hilary Swank.
Oh boy.
Well, we'll see what you guys say.
I gotta think about this one now.
Okay. For me, when I first watched this movie, so I'll talk about the movie for a second. when I first watched this movie, I went, "What the did I just watch? Oh my god! Why are you trying to kill me and my soul right now?" And then I rewatched it, and I was like, "I fucking love this movie. I just think this movie is just so incredible. I love how it like subverts, and it doesn't end how you think
Yeah.
like, it would end based on like how normal like sports movies would like just people cheering and stuff. No, it doesn't end like that at all. And but I think what Hilary Swank in this movie has to go through is just like a lot. And she's basically like Rocky. She's just trying to she's an underdog just trying to do something that she really wants to do, something that she loves. And she knows that she's going to have a lot of hurdles to climb because she's a woman. And, in fact, Clint Eastwood doesn't train women. So she's got to basically prove that, she can convince him to do that. And then she does all of the normal, like, sports biopic stuff. And she's great at all of that and being a convincing, like, athlete. But then she has to go through all of the family drama stuff. And I think all of that is really what grounds the performance and really just makes me like think about kind of like my own family a little bit and like, how like a family that doesn't really care about you and stuff like that. And just how she has to go through all of that and has to basically, die like crushed, but also in a way that is triumphant that she actually, kind of she didn't like, give in to her family and all that and basically told them where they could go. Yeah, it's a very, very emotional, very dramatic performance, but also just so physical for her. So yeah, she's doing a lot in that movie, and I've always loved that movie because of her performance. So yeah.
That's a hard one.
Yeah. I quite like Million Dollar Baby. I think it's a great movie, and I think Hilary Swank's performance is spectacular. I think she was great in the movie, and it's one of those ones that just her proving to Clint Eastwood, to Clint Eastwood's character to train her and all that. It's just one of those ones that I think it's just really great. And so yeah, it's going to be a yes for me. Dan, what do you say about Hilary Swank for Million Dollar Baby?
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I got a few things to say on this. I love this movie. I do. I absolutely love this movie, and I love Hilary Swank's performance. And this, living in Florida, that I do, euthanasia is a massive, massive thing that happened in Florida during that time. So they got this kind of story from a true life euthanasia story that happened in Florida. There's actually another euthanasia movie out right now. It's called Suncoast, and it's on Hulu if you want to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
But
Good movie.
But I mean, I love everything about Million Dollar Baby, but I just feel like Hilary Swank has done it better before this, and she deserves to be on the list for a different movie. And I was debating on one of two body transformation movies, and one of them was this other Hilary Swank movie. And that's that reason I have to say no. And it's not because I don't like the movie. I absolutely love this movie. I love everything about this movie. But I believe this other performance deserves to be on the list better. And so that's why I'm going to say no.
Jonathan, what do you say about Hilary Swank?
This is a tough one. This is tough. Oh man, because I put her on my honorable mentions. It's pretty high actually, but I just put Swank. I don't care which role, and I'll be honest because these two performances are deserving. And actually, I am alluding to Boys Don't Cry, which I just finished. I just finished that movie. I had not seen it, and it's a really good movie. Very disturbing, and very sad. Boy, if I say no, I'm actually, I don't know what Carrie's going to say. That's the thing. Like, Swank. Hillary Swank. She deserves to be on the list. Here's the thing. So she was deserving of these both performances those particular years. 2004. Yeah, Kate Winslet's performance from Eternal Sunshine, it's great, but I think Hillary Swank deserved it. And then 99, I had to look it up. You can make a case for Annette Bening for American Beauty, but Swank deserved it over her for Boys Don't Cry. So it is a tough call for me. Here's why I'm going to say yes, because I am going to rewatch Million Dollar Baby more than Boys Don't Cry. Boys Don't Cry is just, it's really too tough to rewatch again. It's really too tough to rewatch. It's just I don't want to endure that kind of experience again, even though it is a really good movie. And the performances from Swank and Savini from Boys Don't Cry, Savini, are great. But in terms of rewatchability, I will go watch Million Dollar Baby again because it's that rooting interest for Swank. And it's basically, I don't like to label it as this, but it's like the female Rocky in a way. But yeah, it is kind of, because you root for her. She's the underdog. I want her to be on the list. She was pretty high up on my honorable mentions, and I did say that I don't care like these performances, and she deserves a mention. I don't care for any one of them, so I'm going to say yes to Hillary Swank and Million Dollar Baby in this occasion.
Kerry, what do you say about Hillary Swank for $1 Million Baby?
I actually had the movie spoiled for me, and I have not got myself to watch it because I know what happens, and I will watch it one day because it is obviously deserving of a watch, but I haven't actually seen it.
Okay, so which one was it? Which one did you get spoiled? That one or Boys Don't Cry?
$1 Million Baby. I haven't had Boys Don't Cry spoiled for me, but I haven't seen that one either. Honestly, I deserve to watch both of them. That will be on different days because they both sound. I know $1 Million Baby will be tough to watch. I didn't realize Boys Don't Cry also. Watch.
I think she's seen The Next Karate Kid, though.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
So Jonathan, Malcolm, and Chad all voted yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She deserves a spot on the list.
Yeah, Hillary Swank is going to make it for $1 Million Baby. And we go back. I believe it's back to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try to see what happens, but I'm going to go for another musical one because it's really high on my list. But I'm going to go for Julie Andrews for Mary Poppins.
Okay.
And look, it's one of those ones like when going through the list, like Julie Andrews as Mary Poppins is probably one of my all-time favorite performances ever. And it's one of those ones like, and I think the way she portrays Mary Poppins, I think, is great. Well, the author itself wasn't that fast with the portrayal in the movie in general, but that's a story for a different day. But I think Julie Andrews, what she did with what she was given in the script, and I think she brought it to life. And it's one of those ones like I for the longest time I used to believe that Julie Andrews was Mary Poppins in dreams. Anytime I saw a movie of when I was young, anytime I saw a movie of Julie Andrews, it was like, that's Mary Poppins. It's just I just think it's a really great performance. But Dan, what do you say about Julie Andrews for Mary Poppins?
Yeah, she's on a roll at this point. She had already gotten nominated for The Sound of Music in her career. So she was kind of like on a roll at this point in her career. And so this is kind of like, in a way, it was a culmination of 2 or 3 different performances that she got nominated years and years later for where she played a she, man, woman. But not Glenn or Glenda. What am I talking about? God, in the 80s.
Victor Victoria.
Victor Victoria, that's it.
Yeah.
But like Sound of Music and Mary Poppins were very close to each other, like a year or two apart or something like that. And but I did have Mary Poppins on my list of 12, Malcolm. And I just, it's just like Spoons Full of Sugar, just there's so many of the songs. It's so much of this is so memorable. And I know a lot of people, they wanted to bring up Emily Blunt and Mary Poppins Return. She can't hold a candle to Julie Andrews. She can't hold a candle to Julie Andrews, in my opinion. And I know that maybe that's a hot take for some people, but I'm right with Malcolm. I watched this so many times as a kid growing up. I used to sing the songs Super Fragilistic, Expialidocious, and all these different songs, Yeah, definitely Julie Andrews from Mary Poppins on the list.
Jonathan, what do you say about Julie Andrews from Mary Poppins?
You know what? I thought you were going to attempt to say this name right there. Right there. The supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yeah.
I did say it.
Yeah, tongue twister. No, I thought Malcolm was going to say it. But because he did say lambs earlier. Julie Andrews. She's kind of high up in my honorable mentions. And yeah, it is one of those childhood favorites for me because this is one of the first movies I did watch when I was a kid, when I was introduced to like the movies and stuff on VHS tapes. And not Mary Poppins was not my first musical. It was The Sound of Music. So Sound of Music and Mary Poppins were the first few. And basically introduced me to musicals ever since. And then I'm hot and cold on them. But in this particular occasion with Julie Andrews, she is a tough nanny, but she does have some depth in her character. And I'll be honest, her character is a bit narcissistic for my taste. And I just, I roll my eyes at a little bit at times. But for the performance, she's high up. You know what? I'm going to be very generous. I'm going to say yes to Julie Andrews. We need a lighter performance, especially after these, dark performances ever since Fargo.
Kerry, what do you say about Julie Andrews and Mary Poppins?
This was going to be my next nomination. I agree with you, Malcolm and Dan. This made so much of my childhood, and when I picture Julie Andrews, it is in this role. I think she just became that character, and it's so iconic. So it's a yes for me.
Chad, what do you say about Julie Andrews and Mary Poppins?
Yeah, I'm one where I didn't grow up with Mary Poppins, so I don't have a big nostalgic fondness for it. And also I don't know how I feel about the movie just as a whole after knowing the whole Saving Mr. Banks story and all that stuff. And I'm a little iffy, but the movie and the performance have reached iconic status. Like Carrie said, you can't really argue with the performance, even if you don't love the movie. But I think the movie and the performance are super, super great. It's just, it's one that's hard to talk about because it's just so perfect, and how she nannies the kids and sings, but it is a lot more than that when you're watching it, but that is basically what she does. So but yeah, it's an iconic performance. It's who didn't win, it's Judy Garland in The Wizard of Oz. It's one of the big musical performances. So yes.
Yeah, and I actually liked Emily Blunt's version of Mary Poppins as well, because she wasn't trying to be like Julie Andrews.
I knew you were going to say it, Malcolm. I knew it.
Well, it's one of those ones it's a completely different version of Mary Poppins. She wasn't trying to be like Julie Andrews, which I actually liked. But Dan, what is the next performance you're going to bring out?
You guys took away my opportunity to have a body transformation performance on here with Boys Don't Cry, because that was going to be my pick for body transformations. So I'm going to go with my my next pick for a body transformation.
Another one.
And if you've seen somebody who looks like smoking hot, gorgeous South African woman with a beautiful blonde locks and beautiful body, and then you have her play a serial killer, to me, that is a performance that deserves to be on the best performances of the best actors, and that's Charlize Theron in Monster. This is another movie that takes place, and actually, this movie took place 25 minutes away from where I lived on I-95 in Daytona Beach, Port Orange, Ormond Beach, in that area of Volusia County, Florida, where I live. I actually moved here to where I live now while this was actually going on in the early 90s. And this woman, she becomes this serial killer of Eileen Wuornos. And she didn't wanna. She's a reluctant serial killer. I know it sounds weird, She's a reluctant She didn't want to be a serial killer, but things started turning in the wrong direction for her. And I think in a way, Charlize Theron plays her a little bit sympathetic, but because she wanted to have a good life for her and her friend / lover, played by Christina Ricci. Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins.
Patty Jenkins directed this. So I'm going to go with body transformation, and I think that is one of those ones where you say body transformation. Wow, we see a lot of body transformations now over the years in acting and stuff. One of the earlier ones that really resonated with me was Eileen Wuornos from Charlize Theron.
Jonathan, what do you say about Charlize Theron for Monster?
Look, nothing against these actresses that were nominated. I mean, Will Ryder, great performance. Something's got to give Diane Keaton great performance. In America, yeah, more than great performance. And I haven't seen 21 Grams.
Incredible movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. But no contest. Charlize Theron, just you got all my locks, guys. Y'all got them all. And this is basically De Niro to Raging Bull is Theron to Monster. I think this is not one to rewatch, and I don't think it's a great movie, but it's a good movie with a great performance. Again, I'm gonna keep it small and short. Yeah.
Kerry, what do you say about Charlize Theron for Monster?
This is a big blind spot for me. I haven't seen it, which is odd for me because I was into true crime very heavily for a while. Like, I could tell you a bunch of stuff about Eileen Wuornos, the actual person, but I just never got around to Monster.
Chad, what do you say about Charlize Theron for Monster?
I have a lot to say about like the movie in general, but also like the performance. I'm not as high on it as Jonathan and Dan are. Like, I don't think it's like an all-timer for me. I love Charlize Theron a lot, especially in like Mad Max Fury Road, stuff like that. She's just so freaking good. In this movie, I do think she's doing some really good work. I would have given it to Keisha Castle-Hughes from Whale Rider personally. But I do think I still don't begrudge Charlize getting this award because I do think she's doing great work there. It's not just the makeup that's aided it a lot, but it's not just that. The movie annoys me a little bit. I think it's a very misguided movie because they're basically trying to take this crazy serial killer and like someone said, humanize them and make them. I mean, she was a human, but like make her into a sympathetic character, and I find that very weird and kind of problematic. But that's a discussion for another day. Despite all that, the performance is, if you extract the performance, is very, very good, and I do think she captured the essence of that person very well, despite my issues with like script and whatnot. It transcends that. So yeah, I would say yes. I didn't write her down, but I'll give her a slight yes because I do this was a good pick.
Yeah, I watched Monster for the first time for this because I was going through Amazon Prime and that was I actually think I actually quite like the movie. I'm not a big fan of Charlie's Theron's performance. I thought it was just okay. I definitely think it should have been Kesha Castle's shoes. I'm not saying that because I'm New Zealand.
Come on,
Um,
you are saying it because you're from New Zealand, Malcolm. We know why you're saying
well,
it.
no,
She was great in that movie. She was great
no,
in that movie.
honestly,
Very
I
good.
think Kesha Castle's shoes' performance in Moa is better than Charlie's Theron for Monster. And so it would have been a no for me. It ended up like low on there, but it's going to make the list anyway. But Jonathan, we go back to you. What is your next nomination?
For a moment, I thought she was not going to make the list. I was like, whoa. I was getting a little scared there. Like, what?
Yeah.
All right. So all my 5 locks are out of the way. All right. Free for all now. Yeah, we need a classic performance here. We need something. Now the question is which one? You know what? I'm gonna go with one that I have seen for the first time today. I haven't reviewed it yet, but I think it's a great movie. I think it is. When it comes to directorial debuts, we think of Sidney Lumet and 12 Angry Men, but then this director's name is lost in the shuffle a little bit, and I'm not like as high on his filmography as other people, but I think this may be my favorite movie of his, and I'm talking about Mike Nichols. And I'm nominating Elizabeth Taylor for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. When I was going into this movie, when I was going into this movie, I knew that this was a great movie all by itself, but I was kind of skeptical because of Elizabeth Taylor. I thought she's been good, not great, even though I was a fan of her performance from Giant. Boy, this movie, holy crap. It's basically a double Marriage Story. And if you can handle Marriage Story, you can handle this movie. It is based on the play, but I think in my mind, it doesn't feel like a rendition of the play. Like recent movies where some movies recently, like The Color Purple, I felt like they were stagey at times. But this one, I didn't feel it because the performances, all 4 of them were exceptional. And in particular, Elizabeth Taylor, she's like very unpredictable when she's in this alcoholic state throughout the movie. And you don't know what's going to happen to her character when she's talking with with her husband, played by Richard Burton, and also with the other 2 people in the movie. So, and also, it is I'm not going to give it away, but it is kind of very, very forlorn what happens in the end when we figure out why they are dysfunctional. So I'm going to shoot my shot for this performance. It may be a no, but we kind of need to go to these classic performances as well. So I'm going to nominate Elizabeth Taylor for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Chad, what do you say about
Carrie first?
Elizabeth? Carrie, what do you say about Elizabeth Taylor for Who's
I unfortunately have not seen this movie yet. Either it wasn't nominated for, because Chad does picture this, either it wasn't nominated for Best Picture, which sometimes happens, or he hasn't gotten to that year yet. So this is one I haven't seen yet, but I really want to.
Chad, what do you say about Elizabeth Taylor for Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
I went through her filmography, and it looks like I've seen 2 of her movies. This is not one of them. I saw a very young performance from her in Father of the Bride. And then I also saw one of my nostalgia movies, her last performance in The Flintstones. Yabba dabba doo, y'all.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I haven't seen it. I can't vote.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I've seen only one movie featuring a character of Virginia Woolf that was nominated for an Oscar for Best Actress, but this is not it. The Hours.
I knew you were going to
Yeah.
say that, Malcolm. I knew it.
No.
I knew you were going to say that, Malcolm.
No.
But yeah, once again, this is another one of those movies that I saw on the list. Like, yeah, I don't know if anyone's going to bring this up, but Dan, what do you say about Elizabeth Taylor, Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf?
First of all, Jonathan, I'm sorry. I love this movie. I rewatched it just for this, just to revisit it because I haven't seen it in so many years. And oh my God, all four of those actors in that movie are incredible. I mean, incredible. She's incredible. The other three people that are in there, the back and forth, the yin and the yang, and the whole reasons why the drinking really starts. They start vomiting the stories of their lives and stuff.
Mhm.
And you're like, wow, okay. Carrie, be warned. This is not going to be an easy watch for you. Or Chad, both of you guys. This is not going to be an easy
For married people. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm telling you right now, you're going to have a hard time with it.
Yeah.
It really gets to the honesty of life and parenting and mothers and fathers and marriage and all this kind of stuff. But that being said, oh my God, Elizabeth Taylor is incredible in this. And I feel bad for Jonathan because unfortunately we can't get it on the list because this would have been a great one to put on the list.
I mean, it's easily her best. Over that other one, Butterfield 8. I just, I don't like that performance.
Yeah, I don't get it. I
didn't like that performance.
But Kerry, what is your next nomination?
Okay. My next one is going to be a musical. And it is going to be Liza Minnelli in Cabaret. I think she is just so phenomenal in this movie. Like she truly gives it her all. Cabaret. Watching this movie, the movie's fantastic, but her performance, I think, even outshines a lot of this movie. And it's an amazing movie. She brings so much life to the character, and she brings you on this journey, and you just feel for her so much. So yeah, that's my nomination.
Chad, what do you say about Liza Minnelli for Cabaret?
I say 100% yes. This was one of the big ones I was going to nominate next because I just love her in this movie. She was just like kind of she's still alive, but I'm talking in the past tense. But as a person, she just seemed to be such a personality. I mean, Judy Garland's daughter is really cool thing to be. But then, just knowing her like from like the SNL thing where it's like Liza Minnelli turning on a lamp or something like that. It's just like she is like a personality just in general, and just bringing that into Cabaret. I just think it was just so amazing to see because Judy Garland couldn't win for Wizard of Oz. So like going to see the next best thing as Liza Minnelli winning for Sally Bowles in Cabaret is just incredible because, she made that character what it is. She made that musical what it is. You get to see her face, and it's just screaming Judy Garland at you. And it's just such an iconic look, such an iconic, way of singing and moving, and just like how it inspired so many other stuff, like with, Chicago and, all that jazz and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just like the way she moves on the stage and just the physicality of it. But then all the stuff that happens outside of the Kit Kat Club and stuff like that as well is just so amazing. And I don't know, it's just the way she talks and stuff like that is just so perfect. I love her in this movie. Yes, 100% yes.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I haven't got around to seeing the Cabaret yet. Once again, another one that was kind of on my list to check it if I had time. There's other ones I wanted to check out more. But yeah, Dan, what do you say about Liza Minnelli for Cabaret?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. This is I think fourth or fifth on my my list. So I was glad someone picked it, so that I didn't have to. I could pick something else. Look, I did. I don't want to, I don't want to kind of shout out another person, but I did picture this, and I did 1972, and 1972 was The Godfather year, but also that year was Cabaret, and I got to watch Cabaret, and I hadn't seen it in so long, and I just didn't realize how great Liza Minnelli was in Cabaret, and you just can't take your eye. I'm like glued to the screen. She's so seductress, and she's such a seductress, and she's such beautiful. And I'm not into women that look that way, but she just like made me just want to watch her and watch every move and listen to every word she said. And ever since I've been a fan of that movie, when I did that episode of Picture This, and I had to watch all those films from 1972. So yeah, it's a big yes for me.
Jonathan, what do you say about Liza Minnelli for Cabaret?
This was going to be my next movie to watch. Yeah, before I was gonna pop on here, because it's on Tubi. But I just went with Boys Don't Cry, Virginia Woolf, Misery, and one other performance that may be brought up, and we'll see. But I have to abstain on this one. I've seen clips of it, and I've seen the play. I know what the story is, but I just haven't seen the movie itself. I've just seen clips, and based on the clips I've seen, I do like what I saw from Minnelli. So, but I have to be fair with myself, and I have to abstain.
But if that, Liza Minnelli from Cabaret is still going to make the list, and we go to Chad for the next nomination.
Okay, so this is I don't want to say this is a Hail Mary, but it's another very, very classic actress. I don't know if it's the same one you're thinking.
Okay, then no, go ahead.
Roll the dice.
I don't know.
Have you done Picture This 51 yet, Chad?
I'm sorry?
Have you done Picture This 51 yet?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
So, I mean, there's a lot I haven't seen, but I'm trying. But I want to bring this person up because I think this is also a very iconic performance, or performances, really, because this is nominated for 3 different things, and it's a special rule because it was from the same year. I'm going to bring up Janet Gaynor from 1927, 1928. And the reason why is because she was the first win. She was the first actress who won. She won for, I have it up, Seventh Heaven, Sunrise, and Street Angel. Sunrise, known to be one of the greatest films ever made. It's on the Sight and Sound. Seventh Heaven is also very good. I haven't seen Street Angel. If I had to pick one of those to nominate her for, it would be for Sunrise, because I do think that's an incredible movie. But also, she's the only performance that we brought up that's a silent film actress. And honestly, I think this list would be extra incredible if we were to put her on it, because she was the first win. She won for 3 movies, and it was just a straight up slate of films that she was in. And she was magnetic in these movies. If you watch these movies, she doesn't need the voice. Obviously, they didn't do voice back then, right? Has the look, she has the performance, the facial expressions of sadness, laughter. She danced in these movies, on Sunrise especially. She showed fear. She showed all of the big emotions that would get you the reel. And she did the thing. Janet Gaynor did it, and but she did it in such a silent way. She had to. But yeah, I didn't know if I was going to bring her up. There was another very classic performance I was thinking about bringing up, but then I was like, you know what? I don't know how many people have seen these. I don't know how many people would blind vote these if they haven't seen it, and this might still be my last pick if everybody else is on their A game. But I was like, you know what? I'd kick myself if I didn't bring up this, because I think it deserves to be here. I like to be representative a lot of times with my picks, and I got my newer one. I failed to get an underrated earlier one, and this is another underrated earlier that I'm trying to get on, and we'll see what you guys think.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those movies. My knowledge on the movie that came out that early on is really slim to none. Dan, what do you say about Janet Gaynor?
Well, I had watched Picture This. I watched that episode of Picture This, and I have not got to Sunrise. I've been meaning to get to Sunrise, but I have not had a chance to get to Sunrise. I've been so inundated with watching movies for various podcasts, Picture This, Rank 'em, other podcasts that I'm on, and I got film reviews to do of new movies and stuff. So I haven't got to any of these, Chad, unfortunately.
Jonathan, what do you say about Janet Gaynor?
I tried.
Good job, Jonathan.
And Kerry, what do you say about?
Yeah, I know you know, Chad. I haven't watched these, but
know.
I love that you brought her up.
Yeah,
I love
I tried.
it.
It's a weird list without her on there, is all I'm saying, but okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Sorry,
Jonathan's
Janet. You died
We're
too
all
soon.
gonna have homework,
and
and
we
our
don't-
homework is to watch older movies.
We don't watch silent films anymore. It's in
Well, I
the,
saw Wings. Hey, Chad, I saw Wings. So.
okay. It's in the public domain now. You watch it on YouTube.
Okay, good. Sunrise. I will.
All of them, pretty much.
But I have heard of Sunrise. Yes, I have heard.
But yeah, it's back on to me. And for my next pick, I'm just going to say, guess what pick I'm bringing up? But I'm bringing up Catherine. Well, that joke kind of got lost now, but I'm bringing up Catherine Hepburn for Guess Who's Coming to Dinner.
Okay.
Which one?
Yeah, no, this is one I watched for the first time, and it was just one of those ones because I was at the library looking for a completely different movie. That I was just like, hang on, she was nominated for that movie. But yeah, and like Catherine Hepburn is probably the actress with the most wins, and I think this is the only movie I've seen with her and that she's won for. But I think she's great as this sort of wife that's trying to sort of convince her husband that like just let her daughter be happy, and if your daughter's happy, then but I mean, just the shock, the initial shock, but then once they get to know Sidney Poitier's character, I think it's just I think it's one of those great movies, and I think the performance is just really good. So yeah, so Dan, what do you say about Catherine Hepburn for Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
Yeah, one of the movies I rewatched for this, Malcolm, was Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. And I'll tell you what, Katharine Hepburn and Spencer Tracy are phenomenal in this. And that year was a really rough year for Sidney Poitier because he loses to, both of the movies, he's in the Heat of the Night and he's in Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. And he doesn't win an Oscar that year because of Spencer Tracy and Rod Steiger end up winning. And then it's just like, what a brutal year. I feel so bad for Sidney Poitier. He's in two phenomenal movies, but everybody's doing some great work in those movies, and including Katharine Hepburn as his wife, who finds out her daughter wants to marry a black man in the 60s. But they're a progressive family, and they see the upside that these two people love each other. And the man is a successful doctor. He's been doctoring around the world, Africa and Hawaii, and he's going over to the Geneva and Switzerland and stuff. So this movie is before its time, but it really shows where the country is going in decades later. But it's great. She's incredible in this, as this mother who's trying to be a supportive mother, a supportive wife, and so forth. So I didn't know if somebody was going to bring up On Golden Pond or what they were going to bring up for Katharine Hepburn, but I'm glad this one came up first because I was going eventually going for this one myself. So it's a big yes for me.
Yeah. But Jonathan, what do you say about Katharine Hepburn for Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
I don't love this movie. I like it, but I just don't love it or acknowledge the performances. Maybe because maybe it was a bad day for me that day. I don't know, but I liked it. But the problem was tone, and I thought it was tonally all over the place at times. It was deemed as a comedy. I was like, this is not funny. I don't think it was funny. I thought of it as a progressive family drama about racial conflict and strife and potential marriage, interracial marriage. So that probably it was expectations, and I do like it, but I don't deem her performance as like one of the 12 greats. And I'm looking at the nominee list, and I don't know, Audrey Hepburn and Wait Until Dark that was great. And that's not the Katharine Hepburn performance I have on my honorable mentions. And we'll see if we get to that one. But if not, then that's okay. But right now, we have 3 spots left. I'm gonna go no on this one.
Kerry, what do you say about Katharine Hepburn for Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
I say yes. I think I love her performance in this. I just like something about just her eyes and like how like those conversations that she has with her husband, and like Dan was talking about and Malcolm, and just like wanting her child to be happy and learning to accept, move past her prejudices for her child to be happy. I thought she just conveyed that so well. So it's a yes for me.
And Chad, what do you say about Katharine Hepburn for Guess Who's Coming to Dinner?
I mean, this is an actress. I feel like that. Like, doesn't she still have like a record for like most nominations or something like that?
4 wins.
4 wins. Okay, so the most wins. Yeah, I feel like with those credentials, she does deserve to be on the list somewhere. I'm kind of similar to Jonathan, though. Like, I wasn't super high on this movie in general or her performance. I don't really remember it even that much. It just didn't like strike, anything in me that went like, that's what I'm going to remember. But, I'll probably rewatch it at some point and just to see if I'm freaking wrong, because I have been before. I was with $1 Million Baby, obviously. But I would have given it a slight no. But it's going on the list anyway, and that's cool.
Which Hepburn performance were you thinking of?
Oh, I don't know, actually. I was just saying, like, I'm sure that she deserves to be on the list in general, but,
Actually, yeah, Dan said it on Golden Pond.
Oh, yes. I love that performance. That would have been the one I
watched
wanted.
that one with you.
You got to check that out. So good.
It's anti Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. It's very, very nice.
Yeah.
But with that being said, going to go Dan for the next nomination. What are you going to bring up?
I'll tell you what, guys. I revisited a movie. I wanted to revisit some classic performances in movies that I haven't seen in a while, just to see if it would solidify some of these slots. And I loved that some of you guys have been able to pick some of the ones, like Jonathan picked Virginia Woolf, and Malcolm picked Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and some of these ones. So I didn't have to pick them because you guys picked them. But one I have a feeling that nobody was going to pick, and I just, when I revisited, I said to myself, wow, this is an incredible performance. And it's, you talk about great directors, and you take a stage play, you take a stage play and you put it to film, and you don't know if it's going to translate, but one that really does. And it's from one of those great directors of all time, in my opinion, Elia Kazan. And that's Vivian Leigh in A Streetcar Named Desire. She plays Blanche Dubois. She's a struggling actress or a woman, and she's has to go put her tail between her legs and go live with her sister. And she deals with problems with her sister's boyfriend, Stanley, played by Marlon Brando. And then she ends up getting in a relationship herself. And so there's this back and forth between these four people. And there's a little bit similar to Virginia Woolf. There's alcohol involved. It's in New Orleans during the summer, so it's sweltering hot. It's just some of the best cinematography, some of the best camera work you'll ever see in your entire life in a movie. It's black and white, but Vivien Leigh is incredible as Blanche Dubois. Her emotions go from happy to sad and everything in between. And she's acting opposite some great actors opposite her in this movie. And the moving around, goes upstairs, she goes from room to room, she goes outside. The various different settings of this movie, the camera work really hones in on the character work. And like I said, it's based on a play. So I'm going to go with Vivien Leigh for A Streetcar Named Desire. For Blanche Dubois. Blanche Dubois.
Jonathan, what do you say about Vivien Leigh for A Streetcar Named Desire?
This is the one with Stella. Is this the one?
Stella!
Yeah.
Stella!
Okay.
He's yelling up the steps up to the room. Yep.
Well, unfortunately, that's the only clip I've seen. And it is a huge blind spot. Yeah, it is huge.
Movie.
I know, but it's a huge one. And yeah, it was Cabaret and then this one. And those were the two I was going to follow up next. And I am a fan of Brando's performances in the 50s. So, yeah, On the Waterfront. Yeah, it's a great movie. So I have to abstain.
All right, no problem.
Kerry, what do you say about Vivien Leigh for A Streetcar Named Desire?
I haven't seen this one. I'm really sorry, Dan.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, I knew it was going out on a limb, but I want to try to get some classic performances.
Yeah.
I have one coming up, actually.
Same.
Good.
Same.
Chad, you didn't see it either.
Unfortunately, I have to return the favor for Born Yesterday and Sunrise. I have not seen it. I apologize. I really want to now.
You get to 51. 51's a good year, Chad.
Because I know the whole Stella thing, and it's reminding me of The Disaster Artist.
Yeah, you'll get to 51 one of these days, Chad. Don't worry.
Yep.
Weirdly enough, I actually have seen this.
Rarity, right?
No.
Here. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no, like this is one because I studied theatre at school, and this is one of those movies that they always show you, because this is one of the plays like we talked about, and I can't remember the class what was now, but and this is probably my favorite out of the two Vivien Leigh Best Actress wins.
Oh yes,
but
it's better than
just so it's not just going to go out with multiple no's, I'll give it a slight yes.
Thank you, Malcolm. I appreciate that.
But it's still not going to make the list.
Jonathan, you killed me. No, I'm just joking.
Well, I mean, it's one of those ones like if it got another yes, I probably would have said no.
Okay.
Just because it is no, look, it's good. It's just very low on my list, and I've got other ones I do want to bring up.
Yeah, I got you. Hey, at least if someone's watching this, Malcolm, now they know about A Streetcar Named Desire and Marlon Brando and Vivien Leigh and all these guys. So, Ilya Kazan.
Jonathan, what is the next movie you're going to bring up?
Okay, I'm debating two performances from the 40s.
The 40s. Oh boy, I may not have it. I may not have this one.
Man, they're both equally great performances, but which one do I go with? And one of them is like all timer, and the other one is very, very good, and then with an all time performance, basically. Yeah, screw it. And I think she's one of the greats, so I'm going to go with her in this one. Okay, so this is kind of like this is a psychological thriller, that is not really directed by Hitchcock. It feels like a Hitchcock movie, but it's not it. But and I think she's one of the most talented, beautiful actresses ever. And I'm talking about Ingrid Bergman. And I'm going to nominate Bergman's performance in Gaslight. This is the other one, the fourth one, the last one I saw recently. And after the first 20 minutes, I'm like, where's this going? Like, okay, we're going to the house. It's a little too much buildup, but then it keeps ramping up, building up to this, to basically the title. And yes, the title basically takes away the suspense a bit, but in the hands of Charles Boyer's performance, holy crap, he is evil. He is an evil, manipulative husband. And he's just ridiculously you want to just hit him because he's manipulating poor Bergman's character throughout the movie. And basically I have to look at my review. Basically, they move into their aunt's murdered home. And while she's trying to get on the footsteps of her aunt, she was an opera singer. She doesn't meet the highest of expectations. So both Gregory Anton, the accompanist, and Bergman's character, Paula Alquist, get married. They have a happy marriage, but then she becomes plagued with noises from the attic and gas lights, and then she loses stuff, according to Gregory, and then he deems her as a kleptomaniac, and then it becomes a mystery from there on in, thanks to Joseph Cotton's character, Inspector Brian Cameron, and it just builds up to a great conclusion where, oh man, Bergman just is having so much fun with her last scenes in the movie, and she's fantastic. And I don't think Ingrid Bergman won for Casablanca.
He wasn't even nominated.
Wasn't even nominated, Jonathan.
Dan yelled on our show a lot about this, actually.
You stole my thunder, Chad, because I was going to really vent about this. I was going to really vent
your
about
time
this.
will come.
I'm doing that Oppenheimer face at the end of the movie. Like, what the hell were the Academy thinking? But look, she deserves some love for the Best Actress, and she definitely deserved it for Gaslight. And she's definitely one of the great actresses ever. So, and because of also Ingmar Bergman's work as well. So really, she wasn't nominated for Casablanca. That's ridiculous. So Ingrid Bergman for Gaslight. It's a great performance either way.
Carrie?
I mean, I think it was because Ingrid Bergman was nominated, but it was for Whom the Bell Tolls.
Yeah, for Whom the Bell Tolls.
I haven't seen that one.
But I don't know what you're talking about, Jonathan. There's no movie called Gaslight exists. It doesn't exist.
Good one.
But Kerry, what do you say about Ingrid Bergman as Gaslight?
Yes, I'm so glad you brought her up, Jonathan. I 100% agree. Ingrid Bergman is she is just. If you think about like a movie star of that time, she is just what you think of. She is so incredibly talented, and I think one of the most beautiful people that's ever existed.
Holy shit.
And when she's on screen, you can't help but watch her. Like if you're trying to do something else and you're watching a movie with Ingrid Bergman, you're just looking at the screen because she is just magnetic. And her performance in this is amazing, absolutely amazing. Yeah, I think we would all maybe be nominating Casablanca maybe over this if she had been nominated for that. But she still gives just a fantastic performance in Gaslight, and I think definitely deserves to be on this list.
Chad, what do you say about Ingrid Bergman with Gaslight?
Well, yes. I had this on my list, of course. So I had the three pre-70s actresses, Holiday, Gaynor, and Ingrid Bergman from Gaslight, because of the, I guess, infamous, snub for a nomination for Casablanca. Definitely a much, much, much better movie than For Whom the Bell Tolls. Much, much better performance there. They were out of their minds that year. But I would say Gaslight is about an equal performance, I think, from Casablanca. It's not as good of a movie, but I think Ingrid Bergman is really nailing something here because you have, like you said, I'm forgetting. You said the name. The guy who is really menacing in this. Charles Boyer. Thank you. He's incredible in a lot of films from back in those days. But so is Ingrid Bergman, and she. It's to play a person who's being gaslit is just as difficult and important and just interesting as someone who's doing the gaslighting. And I just think like her, like playing like her, are you sure? Like, that's how things are and stuff like that. To know that's where we get the term gaslighting from. It's a credible movie, credible performance. And I feel so bad for her in the movie, but that is because she's making me feel so bad for her in such a good way that like, I'm like, I want to see her not be taken over by this piece of shit guy. So, yeah, well, one of the all-time performances, I agree. Great pick, Jonathan. I was going to do it next, probably, if you didn't.
Yeah, I just haven't seen the movie. It's not one that's sort of like been somewhere where I could see it. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones. It's interesting because I don't like. I mean, I've not heard of the song of Bernadette. Like, it'll be interesting, even if Ingrid Bergman was nominated for Casablanca, it depends on how much they love the song of Bernadette, whether she wins.
She isn't as good, Malcolm. I've seen the song of Bernadette, and Malcolm, Chad, and I will tell you there's not. She is incredible in Casablanca, and Jennifer Jones isn't as good as Ingrid Bergman in Casablanca.
Well, I mean, it's one of those. I never said she wasn't.
Okay,
It'll be one of the. What I was meaning is, it depends on how much the Academy loved the song of her performance in the song of Bernadette.
Yeah.
But who knows what could have happened if Casablanca got nominated? But anyway, Dan, what do you say about Ingrid Bergman for Gaslight?
Yeah, look, one of my pet peeves about the Academy Awards is that people don't get nominated / win for the things they should get nominated for / win. And Ingrid Bergman clearly gets nominated for Gaslight. Everybody obviously was saying that she deserved it and all whatever, but she should have won and got nominated. Not only did she not get nominated, she didn't win, but she didn't get nominated for Casablanca. And that's what is like a craw on my side. It's like, how does she not get nominated for Casablanca? And she gets nominated for Whom the Bell Tolls. It's terrible. Terrible. Not a good movie. Not a good movie. And then she gets nominated the next year for Gaslight. It happens all the time when they forget somebody or somebody gets overlooked or whatever. The next year, I'll give you a prime example. Malcolm's going to crap on this, but I think Meryl Streep was much better in Julia and Julia than as Julia Child than she was as Margaret Thatcher in The Iron Lady. Malcolm's shaking his head. I knew he was going to say that. She was incredible as Julia Child and Julia and Julia. Doesn't get nominated. And then she next year, oh, wait, we forgot. We're going to reward her for The Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher. And you go look at the ratings, the scores, the star ratings, or the whatever of her performance or the movie itself of The Iron Lady, nowhere near as high. I think Julie and Julia is a much better movie overall. But that's just, Paul Newman, he gets nominated for The Color of Money and wins. Should have won for The Verdict. But guess who was in The Verdict here? Gandhi, Ben Kingsley. So he wasn't going to beat Gandhi and Ben Kingsley that year. You know what I mean? It happened. Al Pacino never wins an Oscar for anything involving the Godfather movies. Are you kidding? He doesn't win for Michael Corleone, but he went for Scent of a Woman. You know what I mean? So, but that's my rant on that. I mean, I don't have any issues with Ingrid Bergman. I haven't seen the movie, so I mean, I can't tell you if I liked her in the movie or not. I haven't seen Gaslight, but that's just my 2 cents on that.
We got a classic one. Yay.
Oh, yeah, we've got a few classic ones on this.
Bergman. Well, like 40s, 50s, but yeah. I will say this. I was looking at the lineup for Bergman. Yeah, Barbara Stanwyck and Double Indemnity. Ooh. I wish there were a tie. I wish there were a tie there. But Bergman's.
And look, it's one of those ones like I get the whole career thing, but like out of the other people nominated the year that Meryl Streep won for The Long Lady, I think she deserved it over everyone else that was nominated that year. But
did she not deserve to be nominated / win the year Sandra Bullock won for The Blind Side? Come on, Malcolm.
I would have put Sandra Bullock over her performance, Julie and Julia. And Meryl Streep was nominated for Julia Child.
Yes.
So anyway, I completely so
Carrie.
that was Jonathan. So Carrie, what is the next number?
Okay. I'm gonna throw my nomination out there. If people disagree, I won't be offended because I know this is the last slot. So, but this is just personally one of my favorite performances, and that's Audrey Hepburn in Roman Holiday. I adore her in this. She is just, I don't know. It's something about, she's just so like charismatic, and the way she plays like just off of everyone else in this movie and everything. I just think she's absolutely fantastic, and I would love to see her on the list. And this is just my favorite performance of hers.
Chad, what do you say about Audrey Hepburn for Roman Holiday?
I mean, I didn't put her on the list. I definitely thought about it. And I have others on my list, but it's one of those things where I go, you know what? Like, we were talking about doing a lot of more like classic stuff. That's what I was aiming for. And I feel like this is a one of those classic performances that is just so, great. She's like she's like royalty that goes to
Princess Anne.
Yeah, that goes to it's kind of like Coming to America in a way, right? It's like goes to like do non-princessy stuff. I mean, it kind of is, right?
Well, when it gets around to me, I'll tell you what it is.
All right. I'm glad I could make someone laugh about that comparison.
Wow, mind blown.
She's in her own.
No, she's definitely in another league.
Wow.
We have one Hepburn, when I get the other one on here. I think Audrey is just one of those iconic classics, just like Bergman, just like Hepburn, just like Minnelli, all these classic actresses. I feel like we have to get Audrey in there. She's just so iconic, and I think this is one of her best performances. I really like this movie because of her performance. So I'll say, yeah, Carrie, good pick.
Yeah. So if this was brought up earlier, I probably would have been more inclined to say yes. Once again, I saw Roman Holiday for the first time this year, back when we did classic comedies. And like I like Roman Holiday. I think the performances were okay. I don't think they're. And look, it's one of those ones like I do like Audrey Hepburn as an actress. I think she's great. But I think there's a few other ones that she should have won for that she didn't. I think it's great. So it's going to be a slight no for me. But Dan, what do you say about Audrey Hepburn for Roman Holiday?
You talk about you're supporting my theory there, Malcolm. Should have won, should have been nominated for other things. What happened to My Fair Lady? You know what I mean? I mean, that is a Oscar-winning performance as Eliza Doolittle. Doesn't win, ends up winning for Roman Holiday, Princess Anne, All right. So what it is the princess. She's trying to not to be the princess, so she hides away, pretends to be somebody else. Then she ends up getting involved with the newspaper man, played by Cary Grant. They go on a nice adventure
Gregory Peck.
together. Gregory Peck. My bad. Gregory Peck in Rome, and they're just having a good old time. She's not pretending to be who she is. She's pretending to be somebody else. Fun movie, gorgeous looking movie. She's great in it. Look, Breakfast at Tiffany's doesn't win. I mean, doesn't win for My Fair Lady. I mean, she wins for Roman Holiday. So you got it, but you got to get Audrey Hepburn on the list, and this is what she won for. So you got to, with that logic, you got to say yes to Audrey Hepburn and Roman Holiday. It's because it's like Oscars. What were you thinking again? It's like a broken record with the Oscars sometimes, the Academy Award. So I say yes because I want Audrey Hepburn on the list, and this is what she won for. So hey, I was going to pick this next. Actually, this is so funny that you picked this, and so good job, Carrie. Good job, Carrie.
Jonathan, what do you say about Audrey Hepburn for Roman Holiday?
During that rant, I thought it was going to be falling on me to do this. Like, oh no, Audrey. It's like, because I love Audrey Hepburn, and actually, she did deserve it for Roman Holiday. I thought she was great, and it is actually my favorite performance and movie from Audrey. I don't love Breakfast at Tiffany's as much as other people do. You know what aspect is in that movie.
Well, yeah, they all complain about Andy Rooney.
Yeah. But I did like, I do like the rest of the movie. I do love the ending. I didn't really care about that romance at that point until I only cared about the cat.
The cat. Oh.
The cat. Yeah, cat.
Yeah.
And I mentioned Wait Until Dark, and I think that was a great performance. But I think the right person won that year. I don't remember which year we covered. I think it was the was it Elizabeth or I'm sorry, no, that was Katharine Hepburn. No, I thought Audrey should have won that one. But for this one, this would be my favorite performance. Yeah, I feel kind of bad that we're not going to get there is like one or two worthy 2010 winners that should be in consideration, but I'll say yes to Audrey Hepburn for Roman Holiday. I love that movie to pieces. I think it's one of my favorite romance films that ends unconventionally. I like that, and because life goes on. That's all. I mean, life goes on, and I'm going to say yes to Audrey Hepburn. Actually, she was in my top 12 as well. So, yeah, great pick, Carrie.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones I personally don't like her performance in My Fair Lady, so I didn't think it should have been nominated.
I was going to ask, which Audrey performance?
Breakfast at Tiffany's, I think, is the one that she should have won for.
Let me see who won that year. Oh, Sophia Loren. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, because I love Breakfast at Tiffany's. And it's one of those ones and I haven't watched a lot of Audrey Hepburn movies. Because I mean, I also think she probably should have won for Sabrina as well, because I think she was great in that as well. But,
very good in Sabrina.
But
very good.
With that, we do have 12 on the list.
I like this list. Variety. Good variety.
But Chad, did you have any honorable mentions?
Yes, I do. Let me pull them up. I'm sorry. I had to go get some whiteboards for the next segment.
Can I go? Can we go since I'm ready? No,
I'm ready. I have Diane Keaton from Annie Hall. I have Natalie Portman from Black Swan. I have this probably would have been my next nomination. Jennifer Lawrence from Silver Linings Playbook. Brie Larson from Room, and Renee Zellweger from Judy. I really love all those.
For me, something I'll mention that I had was I had Helen Mirren for The Queen. I think she was great in that. A movie that I watched for the first time that kind of leapt right into my top 10. Julianne Moore for Still Alice. I think she was great. And I was going to try this one earlier, but then at the time I was like, it's probably not going to work anymore. But Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once, I think definitely is great.
Should have been Kate Blanchett.
It's too recent right now. So that's what I would say. No.
Chad, no, it shouldn't.
Yes.
Michelle Yeoh is
Yes,
better
it
than
should
have.
Kate Blanchett.
Star.
Um,
See, I know.
I like Everything Everywhere All at Once more as a movie, but
But the performances, though.
If Frances McDormand, we would have another with Carrie. We'd have Promising Young Woman with Carrie Mulligan.
anyway,
McDormand, come
speaking of Kate Blanchett, I think Kate Blanchett was great in Blue Jasmine.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the last one I'll mention is I thought Faye Dunaway was great in Network, another film
Yes.
I watched for this. But Dan, what's some honorable mentions that you had?
There's Network. Yeah, you guys said a few of mine, but once again, the Oscars got it wrong. Shirley MacLaine should have not only got nominated and won for The Apartment, but she ends up winning for Terms of Endearment, which she's great in.
Yeah.
But come on, Oscars. The
Yeah.
Apartment. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Scarlett O'Hara is phenomenal in Gone with the Wind. Whether you like the movie, whether it's politically correct, whatever, I don't care. She gives a great performance. I don't want to hear all that crap from people. This is after you guys picked Audrey Hepburn. My next pick, if I didn't know if it was going to get back around to me, I was debating on too. But Claudette Colbert for It Happened One Night. She's fantastic. Opposite Clark Gable. And another one that Chad and I and Dylan talked about on Picture This, a year that 1974 that had some great performances and great films is Ellen Burstyn in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. So so I knew this was going to be a hard one, and there's a lot of good ones I wish we could have got on the list. I knew it was just going to be tough.
Jonathan, what are some honorable mentions that you had?
Actually, Chad covered two of the 2010 performances. I think Black Swan deserved consideration. Brie Larson in Room. One other one from 2010s, Olivia Colman in The Favorite. I thought she was phenomenal. I thought that surprise win right there, I was like, yeah, she deserved that one over Glenn Close and Kaga that year.
But can I just say something real quick? Of all the times you okay, I don't give it to this person for this movie for all these years, and then it's Glenn Close's turn to finally win, and you don't give it to her for that one, you give it to somebody new. You just go against your own logic, Oscars. You know, that's all I'm saying. They went against their own logic that time, Jonathan. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
I did like Olivia Colman in The Favorite. Don't get me wrong.
No, she deserved that one. Let's see, who else? Oh, the one earlier between Bergman. I was debating between Bergman and Joan Crawford from Mildred Pierce.
Yeah, don't have that criteria.
I think it's an all-timer movie for me. Let's see. You brought up Dunaway. Marlee Matlin, Children of a Lesser God. I think she's great. Let's see. Shirley MacLaine. Marianne Cotillard, La Vie en Rose. She was fantastic. And look, this movie does get hate. It's dated for sure, but Jessica Tandy does kill it as Miss Daisy, in Driving Miss Daisy. She kills it, and that's a great performance as well. Michelle Yeoh. I thought about it, but then I think it's just too recent. I just want to give it more time. I had wished that Blanchett won for Tar, but Yeoh is an excellent performance. I just wanted to give it more time. So, but that's it.
But anyway, it's time to
Carrie. What about Carrie's?
Carrie, did you have any honorable mentions?
Most of mine have already been mentioned. I won't repeat them. The only other ones I would have brought up were Cher in Moonstruck.
Yes.
That's a great
performance. The other two, definitely not top 12 worthy, but still some of my favorite performances that have won for Best Actress. Reese Witherspoon in Walk the Line, and Jessica Chastain in The Eyes of Tammy. The Eyes.
Dan, you have The Eyes of Tammy Faye too? Wow. He's the master, man.
I mean, if you heard Dan all of what every year Isaac Tammy Faye came out. He loved that movie. He was
All right.
Oh, I forgot to bring up one. Holly Hunter, the piano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that on Criterion. We can check it out.
It's an
funny
excellent,
enough. I just finished watching that for the first time.
lovely movie.
The last child performance to win an Oscar, Anna Paquin. Terrible.
Yeah.
Oscar.
Well, I mean,
Terrible.
but she wasn't the lead.
Yeah, with Audrey Hepburn at the end.
Oh, okay.
But
No, I know that, Malcolm.
Oh,
It was Holly
yeah.
Hunter.
Hold on a moment.
But just to recap the travel that we began, Solling got Mill Street Saved His Choice, Clancy and Dawn to Fargo, Jodie Foster for Silence of the Lambs, Louise Fletcher for the One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Happy Bates for Misery, Hilary Swank for $1 Million Baby, Julie Andrews for Mary Poppins, Charlize Theron for Monster, Liza Minnelli for Cabaret, Katharine Hepburn for Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, Ingrid Bergman for Gaslight, and Audrey Hepburn for Roman Holiday.
It's a great variety. I like it. Yeah.
But yeah. Got Russell Watch. But Dan, what do you have for number 12?
I have Louise Fletcher. Louise Fletcher.
Jonathan.
No, actually, I'm gonna go with this one. I just put Swank, Hilary Swank.
Kerry, what do you have for 12?
Just because I haven't seen it, Charlize Theron.
Chad, what do you have for 12?
I don't think anyone's going to be on the same page with me,
I
but I'm going
know.
to try it. Katharine Hepburn.
I also went Louise Fletcher for so.
Oh shoot! Ah,
Oh,
Sorry about that, Jonathan.
damn it! Ah, no, Fletcher. 12? No.
Jonathan, what do you have for 11?
Yeah, I screwed it up. Okay, I put Katharine Hepburn.
Kerry, what do you have for 11?
I stuck with Charlize Theron.
Chad, what do you have for 11?
Katharine Hepburn.
Katharine Hep. What's up, Katharine Hep? Meet Audrey Hep.
I'm going Jodie Foster.
I switched Jonathan to Ingrid Bergman, man. I switched to Ingrid Bergman, and you changed it.
That's not who I put down.
Did you have Gaslight the last time, or did somebody have Gaslight?
I put Snake. I had Snake.
Oh, never mind then. Never mind. I thought somebody had Ingrid Bergman. I don't know. Yeah, never mind.
But it is going to be Katharine Hepburn at 11.
I thought somebody had Bergman. I don't know why.
No.
Weird. Never mind. That's right.
Maybe you were gaslit into thinking that.
Yeah. Good point. Good point, Malcolm. I still don't know what gaslit means. I really don't, guys. And don't kill me for that because I really don't.
Actually,
Okay.
you know what? I'll be honest. Me either until I saw the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I hear that phrase and I said, "What the fuck does that mean?"
Now the movie actually demonstrates what it means.
Okay, I have to
Does
watch.
it really
I have to
well.
watch that movie then.
Yeah.
But Kerry, what do you have for 10?
Sticking with Charlize Theron.
Chad,
I'm going to copy Carrie for now. Charlize Theron.
sticking with Jodie Foster. Dan,
I got Ingrid Bergman for Gaslight. I don't know what it
Jonathan.
means. No.
I just put Theron in 10 because I put Swank.
So you guys put Charlize Theron ends up getting.
Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
I'll be sitting here forever then, I guess. I'm just putting my stacks.
No,
of
there's
movies.
actually one other performance. I was like, why do you have that performance so low right now?
But Chad, what do you have for 9?
I swapped to Ingrid Bergman.
All right, thank you, Chad.
I'm going Jodie Foster. Dan.
Ingrid Bergman.
Yeah, you know what?
Jonathan.
Yeah, this is only because I haven't seen it. I just put Minelli.
And Kerry.
Oh, I went with Hilary Swank.
I gotta get her higher.
But Ingrid Bergman is going to go at 9.
Yeah, actually, that's the right spot. It's fine. That's cool.
Oh my god.
No, I think that, yeah, you're right. I think Carrie.
But I'm sticking with Jodie Foster.
Swank.
Dan.
Since we're going swank, I'm trying to be swanky.
Jonathan.
Look, I'm not going to be gaslit again, so swank.
Kerry.
Hilary Swank.
And Chad.
My heart is broken, but I went Streep. I haven't seen it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm coming to Maryland. I'm gonna no.
It made me watch it. Oh,
You better watch it. We're gonna sit together and watch it. And you're gonna cry. You're gonna cry tears, baby tears.
probably.
I mean,
It is a hard watch. Yeah.
but it's going to be Hilary Swank.
You're not serious for running this one at the top 5.
So many great ones. I don't know what to pick.
But Dan, what do you have for 7?
Or you're not going first, Malcolm? You going last, Malcolm?
I know what he
Yeah.
has.
I got Foster, Jodie Foster.
Jonathan.
No. It's Minelli. No, there's no way Foster's.
Gary, what do you have for 7?
I put Meryl Streep. I just haven't seen the movie in a really.
Oh God! No, you're gonna put this on me now.
Yeah,
I know where this is going.
Streep.
Oh God, no!
Jodie Foster.
Oh no!
So,
what is it?
so Jonathan,
Don't
Jodie,
do Streep. Don't
It's
do
real
Streep, Jonathan.
Sophie's Choice.
Come on, Jonathan. Remember, it's part of the lexicon of society now. Sophie's Choice. You can't get that with Silence of the Lambs, except, well, there is a couple, but not from Jodie
Am I being gaslit again? Am I being
Not from Jodie
gaslit?
Foster. Not from Jodie
Yeah,
Foster. No, that's from
in-
Anthony Hopkins.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Look, here's the thing.
Go with your heart.
Go get your fava
When it
beans.
comes,
and
okay,
drink it
these
with your
two
Chianti.
performances are all timers now, so it's kind of even. But this time it goes with rewatchability.
Oh God,
Street.
unbelievable. Now that's terrible.
No,
That's
but they're both like evenly great. Evenly great.
Go get your fava beans and eat them with some nice
Yeah,
Chianti.
Oh, I'll have them with Chad and Carrie. Don't worry.
but Meryl Streep is going to be at 7.
Yeah.
Terrible.
No, I'm kind of baffled with Minelli going to be better than Streep, but okay.
I should have voted Manelli. Then we would be.
But Jonathan, what do you have for 6?
I mean, come on, Minelli.
Kerry, what do you have for 6?
I said Audrey Hepburn. I'm not seeing
Check
it.
it.
Yeah, I also said Audrey Hepburn.
You
guys are copying
Doing this again?
You're copying off
and-
each other's boards.
Oh,
No
wait.
copying in class.
But,
So wait, hold up. You had Foster as well, Dan, again?
Yeah. I've
so
changed.
Foster or Hepburn at 6.
Sophie's
Jonathan.
choice again. Um,
Jonathan. Come on, Jonathan.
what a rough night.
I'm sorry.
They're both different. Hepburn.
Wow, we keep losing, Malcolm. Me and you keep losing.
Okay, well, I'm not
Oh,
choosing.
well,
Audrey Hepburn.
Kerry, what do you have for 5?
Liza Minnelli. Sorry.
Chad.
I did Julie Andrews.
I went Jodie Foster. Dan.
Oh, wow.
Foster,
and
Foster, Foster.
Jonathan.
Hey, Chad, who's Sophie now? Huh? Who's it? No. You're
This is
yourself
a-
now.
He ain't gonna
Chad,
pick about Liza Minnelli because he loves Cabaret.
Yeah, but there's Foster.
so Chad,
Well-
Liza Minnelli or Jodie Foster?
I love both, but this is easier because now we're in the top 5. I'll go Manelli here. That's for 5th spot.
Wow. I thought you liked that better than that one. That's shocking to me.
Jodie Foster's an old timer for me. I don't know.
Well, I know you're a horror guy, so I guess I should have
Yeah.
figured that out.
Who's left? So Andrews,
We've got
Foster.
Frances McDormand for Fargo, Jodie Foster, Kathy
Kathy
Bates, and
Bates.
Billy Andrews.
Hmm. Hmm.
But Chad, what do you have for 4?
I have Julie Andrews.
I'm sticking with Jodie Foster. Dan,
Joey Foster.
Jonathan,
Carrie, I hope you did not change your board. Okay, Julie Andrews.
Kerry,
Oh, I never had Julie Andrews. I put Kathy Bates.
so Kerry, Julie Andrews, or Jodie Foster for number 4.
Julie Andrews.
Thank God.
Wow. You guys are gonna put 2 horror performances in the top 3.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Bates' performance was that good.
Oh,
You know, the first time watch, it was that good.
Well, and Fargo is still kind of a lot of murder. There's wood chippers, people going in the
Yeah,
wood
but then
chippers.
it's kind of funny. It's funny.
It is funny. It is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood and guts
funny wood chipper.
with accents. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what?
Anyway, I'm sticking with Jodie Foster. Dan,
No.
Jodie Foster.
Jonathan, who do you have for 3?
I just watched this movie for the first time, so I'll be fair. Bates.
Kerry,
Kathy Bates.
Chad,
It's an all timer, but it's great for spot 3. I'll say Kathy Bates as well.
Wow. Malcolm, what are we doing, man?
Basically, what it tells me, it's really up to the 3 of us. So that's what it tells me here.
Well, now
So
you got to
pretty-
put your favorite.
I'm fine with
pretty much
either.
we've gotta go-
One. Sorry.
Pretty much we've got to go to the number 1. So it's between Frances McDormand for Fargo or Jodie Foster for Silence of the Lambs.
Spoiler alert: this is actually my 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm fine
mine
with either
too.
of these being number 1.
Not my number 1 and 2.
I played the game.
Well, good for you. My number 2. My number 2 is number 4, and my number 1 didn't even get on.
Which was your number 1?
Emma Stone for La La Land. She's my number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Malcolm loves that one.
You love that movie.
I do love that movie.
Wow.
It's one of my top 10 of all time. But
Alright.
Dan, who's your number 1?
Frances McDormand.
Jonathan, who's your number 1?
Well, I said it was my 1 and 2, so I'm happy either way. But in the end, I gotta go with the police chief, McDormand, Frances McDormand.
Fury,
I have a feeling this might be unanimous. I said Frances McDormand.
Chad.
I wrote Francis and then I went Jodie Foster.
Wow.
They're both
Wow.
even for me.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm not mad at you guys at all.
I wrote Jodie Foster and I erased it and put Frances McDormand.
Finally, you got to erase it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Get that true coat. Get that true coat going. Yeah.
it's just an excellent performance. Just perfect. Actually, these two are perfect.
Yeah.
For me.
Oh, Peter Stormare and what's his face? Is
Steve Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi, our brother.
No, but also we don't talk about William H. Macy enough.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
hey, have you ever heard of that true coat? Yeah, I got that true coat for you. Yeah. How about the Asian guy with that accent, though? The Asian guy with that accent was funny as
You
hell
know-
because you don't see Asian guys with that accent. You're like, damn, man.
No.
The first time I ever seen an Asian guy with that type of accent.
No.
He was funny.
But that does bring us to the end of to another episode of Rankum, just to recap the top 12.
Lecture.
At number 12, we've got Louise Fletcher with One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. At 11, we've got Catherine Hepburn for Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. At 10, we've got Charlize Theron for Monster. At number 9, we've got Ingrid Bergman for Gaslight. At 8, we've got Hilary Swank for $1 Million Baby. At 7, we've got Meryl Streep for Sophie's Choice. At 6, we've got Audrey Hepburn for Roman Holiday. At 5, we've got Liza Minnelli for Cabaret. At 4, we've got Julie Andrews for Mary Poppins. At 3, we've got Kevin Bates for Misery. At 2, we got Jodie Foster for Silence of the Lambs. And our number one best actress goes to Frances McDormand.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep should have been in the top 5. That's terrible.
But y'all put Sophie's Choices on me. I just it's incredibly tough. That was incredibly tough. With Audrey Hepburn. Oh.
Well,
I'm sorry, Swank, yeah.
I mean, on my personal list, like Meryl Streep for Sophie's Choice wasn't in my top 12. Meryl Streep for The Iron Lady was. It's if I wasn't just because Jodie Foster was lower, which is why I kept sticking with her. But anyway, moving on, next week's episode of Rankin, you would have noticed I didn't put a poll out this time because a few weeks ago we finally did the last set of decades for comedy movies. So next week, in honor of the movie's Irish Wish that comes out next week, we're doing top 12 comedy movies of all time.
God.
So
good luck.
Basically, it's going to take the top 12 comedy movies that made the previous decade comedy movie list, and we're going to make a top 12 comedy movies out of all time out of those top 12 movies that made out of the movies that already made the list for specific decades. So, it's like I didn't do. I think it's about 60 movies, and I haven't done them. I think it's about 60, 72 movies, somewhere around there. But so we got a select few movies to pick from. But it should be interesting. There was some interesting mixes in there. There's even some surprising movies that made those lists too, because I went back through the previous decades, and like there's some movies which made the list. Like I can't even remember how it got out or who was on that panel at the time. But for that, Dan, where can people find you online?
You can find me under my name, Dan Skipdown, on X, Threads, Blue Sky, Letterboxd, Facebook, any variation of Dan Skipbound, DP Skipbound, or From the Fourth Row. Also, I'm a film critic in Orlando, Florida, and I write for FromTheFourthRow.com. Also, every week I'm with Malcolm and Lewis on. I'm an award show pundit with Malcolm and Lewis on Gone with the Wind, and we will be reacting to the Academy Awards on Monday evening. So if you want to see what our thoughts are on the awards, and we might bring up the whole controversy with the holdovers, who knows. Also, I have been a frequent collaborator with Chad and Dylan on Picture This 5 times on Picture This. We just did 1943, which we talked about the films. If you know what that year is, it's the Casablanca year. So I did have a lot to say about Casablanca then and tonight. Unfortunately, it just happened how that goes. I'm also a lot of times on the Superhero Network. What is it called? The Hero Network.
The Movie Hero Network.
With those guys off and on with them so far. Also, I'm starting up a new show on my buddy's Chasing Labels network. So episode 1 of that should be coming up pretty soon. And I'll be doing a lot. You're going to see a lot of movie reviews from me because I'm a film critic, and I'm going to be doing film festivals coverage and a lot of different things coming up.
Jonathan, where can people find you online?
You can find me across social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, on different variations of Cine Carol right there. I just put my predictions on Instagram. We're both basically going to have the same ones in the main categories. I mean, it's going to be pretty easy to predict this year in those categories. It's basically the below the line categories, except for actors. I think those are the ones going to be difficult to predict. Let's see. Letterboxd. Yeah, I'm just reviewing stuff right now. I have to review a couple movies that I just watched for this, and they're both pretty good and new ones. Oh boy, these recent crop of movies not that great. But except for Dune. But yeah, I think that's it. I don't have anything else going on right now. I was on the Movie Hero Network with those guys doing Best Movies of 2004 Part 2. You know which one that one, and I think I know what won that one on yesterday. So that went on there, and y'all made the right choice, by the way. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for having us on, and
I want to say
Oscars,
something.
I'll probably live tweet the Oscars. I don't know, but have fun watching the Oscars and go Oppenheimer, I guess.
And I want to say, if anybody who hasn't followed Jonathan on Instagram, go do that. He has got a great Instagram feed, one of the better Instagram feeds if you're a movie fan of anybody. I always like to tell people about Jonathan's Instagram because he's really puts a lot of work into his Instagram feed.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not just reviews. I mean, I do some funny posts. I mean, I did one recently when I celebrated with Best Picture splices and International Women's Day splices. You know, movies helmed by a female director. But yeah, check it
out. Kerry, we can find you online.
Chad and I do a show called Welcome to Primetime on our friend Hunter Chambliss's network, the Nerd Entertainment Network. We talk all things horror over there.
And Chad, we can find you online.
Yeah, in addition to all things horror, we also do a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer ranking and talk and stuff like that. We love that show, and Hunter now loves that show too. So check out that if you love that show because it's incredible. And then also check out the my channel, Chadwick Webb, where we do a lot of rankings. We've been kind of on a hiatus since like the new year started and all that, but we're going to try to get some new ones recorded soon. But there's a lot of rankings. We do directors, filmographies, a lot of different stuff over there. So if you like watching just rankings, check it out. Dan's been on there. It's been a blast. Check out the Dill Pickle Movie Network. It's come up already. Dylan Randazzo is great, man. He does a lot of fun stuff over there. So check out all of his channels that he does. It's just if you got like kind of a topic on something, he's probably got a show that does it, some sort of game or draft or whatever. But I do a show called Picture This, where we go through all of the, so this is an Oscar topic that we're covering today. We do all of the Oscar nominees, Best Picture nominees. We're on a mission to watch all of those. So and we don't go in chronological order. We started with 1994. It's known to be one of the greatest film years, and then we just go through like themes and stuff like that. This year, we're doing the year of classics. So we covered 1927 and stuff like that. This month, though, we are covering 2023 because it's the Oscars. We always do that every year to make sure we stay current. If you love classics, check that out. And if not as much, and you want to see some other years, check out some of our older videos. And then in the future, we have a blast over there. And I think that's pretty much it for now. That I'll plug. Thank you. This was fun. This was great.
And you can find me on Tapey Productions. We host Rankum every week. Every Sunday next week, we will be doing Top Shelf Comedies of All Time. You can also find me hosting Gone for the Win every Monday. And you can also find me popping up from time to time on the Movie Hero Network, as well as over on Full Metal, we host trivia. I promise the tournament is finishing eventually. I've just got to upload some videos now, but we'll get into the main season very shortly. I'm looking at everything should be starting in April. And until then, that is the end of this. Just enjoy movies and go and have fun.
I love you all. Class dismissed.